Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. And of course, here's your meme of the day, brought to you by 5mind.com. Well, Democrats tried it. Gotta give them an A for effort. They tried running this same tired, recycled Epstein smear against President Trump one more time. It's almost as if we've noticed a little bit of a Democrat pattern here. When in doubt, just bring back the Virginia Giuffre case and claim that Donald Trump was a criminal accomplice of Jeffrey Epstein. But as per usual, when you're running such a dishonest, despicable play, well, you end up falling straight on your freaking face. And in this case, that's happening in record time. Less than 24 hours after pushing this pathetic little smear campaign, the Democrats got exposed as absolute illegitimate liars. And now we're on day 2 and the lies continue. We got Democrats once again pushing a totally false, easily disprovable claim. You'll see it all over social media that supposedly Donald Trump spent Thanksgiving of 2017 with Jeffrey Epstein. And of course, that's even more relevant because he was president at the time. But guess what? This claim that every Democrat influencer and even many politicians are now pushing all over social media is 100% incorrect and easily disprovable. More disgusting Democrat propaganda nonsense. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. Let's get into the facts, shall we? We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so here we got all the claims. We got a flood of blue checkmark Democrats all over social media claiming that Donald Trump spent Thanksgiving with Jeffrey Epstein in 2017. And then of course expecting you to kind of jump to conclusions. And you know, this might be news if it wasn't complete and utter #1 bullshit. And trust me, that's exactly what it is, because the reality is, Donald Trump was president, meaning his schedule was public at the time, and the press pretty much knows exactly where he is, they follow his every move. And on Thanksgiving of 2017, Donald Trump was at Mar-a-Lago with his family, staff, and there are press pool photos of him. The entire thing is documented. There's no secret dinner with Epstein. It's just another coordinated narrative that Democrats are trying to fabricate here, but like usual with these phony frickin' narratives, it falls apart the moment you delve into the evidence even a little bit. Every time with these Democrats, it's the same damn thing. Just nothing but lies and lies and lies, and always dropping at the most convenient of times. This wannabe Epstein scandal, dropping right after they failed on their shutdown. I wonder if there's something to that. Obviously there is, right? It's obvious what's going on here. They want to change the conversation so bad, and so they leaked that document and altered the name, creating a phony frickin' redaction, because of course they knew that if people saw the name Virginia, they would know that the claim is incorrect. That was yesterday's false claim, which by the way, Democrats are standing by. Well, they're not really standing by it, they're more so thinking you're too stupid to see through their dishonest plays and just playing stupid. Oh, well, we don't know if it's Virginia Giuffre.
This is an email from April 2nd, 2011. Republicans were saying that that victim is Virginia Giuffre. As you know, she died by suicide. She has been very outspoken, Jeffrey Epstein. Here's the email right here on your screen. She wrote a book, as you know, and she did not accuse him of any wrongdoing. What do you make of that? And can you confirm that?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, it's redacted who the victim is, so I won't necessarily take the Republicans' word on who it is that's redacted. And I don't know why they would necessarily redact someone's name who is deceased at this point.
The Democrats did that, though. The Democrats redacted.
No, I understand,
Okay,
but I'm just saying, like, our biggest concern is to actually make sure that we are protecting victims. And obviously, she wrote a book, she told her truth. Whether or not she told everything, who knows?
Like, this should be raising every hair on the back of your neck right now. We don't even know that that is who is named in this email.
Except we do know. We do know. We have the unedited version of that email, and it clearly says Virginia, which they conveniently redacted with a big black bar, and then replaced Virginia with victim. Oh, victim. In order to make a false implication. What freaking lows will these Democrats not stoop to? Feels like nothing is off limits with these people. They want you to jump to conclusions and just assume that President Trump is guilty. But how can we possibly do that if there's so many freaking holes in all of this? It's like a freaking slice of Swiss cheese here. Democrats are obviously presenting this in the most disgusting and dishonest manner possible. And even the emails themselves, you know, something just doesn't feel right. Tim Pool did a little segment, and actually he posted a tweet about it, which I think hits the nail on the head, and it's exactly how I've been feeling. Democrats tried to frame Donald Trump and got caught on the same day. The emails released by Democrats expose a bigger scandal involving a journalist colluding with Jeffrey Epstein to smear President Trump.
The bigger scandal here, in my opinion, which is shocking, is evidence of collusion between a journalist and Jeffrey Epstein to smear Donald Trump. That's right. In 2018, the guy who wrote this book attacking Donald Trump was advising Jeffrey Epstein on how to respond to the press to make Trump look bad. Now, what I really love about this is all of the Democrats that are just like, Jeffrey Epstein's word is law. That's right. Emails from a guy who is a trafficker certainly are credible, and they're going to take them all at face value.
That's exactly how I felt reading this. All these Jeffrey Epstein emails are between Epstein and left-wing predator journalists. Frickin' vultures. And it seems like they're all fishing to try to get dirt on President Trump, and Jeffrey Epstein's kind of playing this back and forth game where he's implying that he might have something. He never says anything outright, but he speaks in this kind of vague, confusing manner. And I find it interesting because Michael Wolff has previously stated that Jeffrey Epstein suspected that Trump was the one who informed on him.
At that point, Epstein's legal problems began. The police began to investigate him over allegations that there were underage women coming to his house. Epstein believed that it was Trump who first informed the police about what was going on at Epstein's house. And from that point on, they were nothing but bitter enemies.
That was Michael Wolff's conclusion. So the totality of this is that Trump was allegedly in a room with Virginia Giuffre, which she denies and unequivocally states that Donald Trump never did anything wrong, and that she never saw him at Jeffrey Epstein's property on the island or with any of the girls. So it seems like that was a lie from Jeffrey Epstein. Then there's the Thanksgiving claim, another lie from Jeffrey Epstein. Then there's apparently a part where Jeffrey Epstein says that he has a photo of Trump and girls in his kitchen, which isn't necessarily incriminating, even though the left is suggesting that it is, and he never produced the photo. You would expect that that would maybe be released, that would be in the possession of his lawyers, part of his estate, but we haven't seen it, and yet again, it's hard to make a criminal implication from that. And we also have confirmation now from Michael Wolff that Jeffrey Epstein suspected that Donald Trump was working against him with authorities, and that he kicked him and Ghislaine Maxwell out of his country club. And with all these emails, it just feels like Michael Wolff is kind of searching for something, but instead finding the exact opposite result. And Democrats now want us to make this massive leap of judgment that Donald Trump is guilty, and this proves it. I do not see it at all. All I see is Democrat spin and dishonesty. It's a rumor mill. They're trying to get a headline. And clearly Epstein is not a trustworthy narrator. He has no credibility, and there seems to be a motive from the journalists that he is interacting with to give them something, some dirt on President Trump. And that's really the most common denominator here. This whole Epstein saga has turned into a tool that Democrats are using, attempting to abuse, not to get to the truth, not to find justice for the people victimized by Epstein, but to spin the story in a way that implicates President Trump dishonestly.
Keep in mind that the Epstein files were in existence and free to have been opened during the Biden administration. You were there for 4 years. How come you didn't open it as a Democratic Party then? From my understanding, the same files that were open or being open now with the 220 pages of documents or whatever it is, with various emails, that could have been done when Biden was in office. Well, why didn't you do it if it's so important now? This is the kind of stuff that smells. Because my attitude is just deducing how much they despise Trump is if there was some real bona fide dirt on him, since you went after him with the 34 felony convictions, which essentially was deduced to him paying hush money to Stormy Daniels just so she wouldn't reveal their happenings with one another leading up to the election in 2016. If you had something like that you were willing to parade him through the streets with, of course, if you had something on him about Epstein, you'd have let it go earlier to make sure he didn't become the 47th president.
They believe that the time spent on this and that the Republicans who've bought into the Democratic tactics on this are ultimately hurting the president's agenda and hurting the overall Republican effort to change this country for the better. The president firmly believes this is nothing but a distraction tactic ginned up by Democrats who didn't care about this one bit until a couple of months ago. They didn't care about it when Joe Biden was the president. Now they care about it to try to tie up this presidency. He's lived through these things before. He's lived through these kinds of wild goose chases before. It's all designed to tie him up. He recognizes it. He doesn't want his own party members to fall for it, but I think a few probably will.
Exactly. They're trying to weaponize it. They never cared about it. You know, Jeffrey Epstein was big news 10 years ago. That's when it was important. That's when it was relevant. His connection to the Clintons, everything that was going on with the Podestas. Democrats pretended it didn't exist. They had 4 years to release it under Joe Biden. They had 4 years to prove a connection between Jeffrey Epstein and President Trump beyond what is already publicly known and all the information that essentially exonerates him. They released nothing, and that tells you all that you need to know. They have no dirt on President Trump relating to these Epstein files. Maybe that's what Trump means when he's talking about this now being a Democrat hoax, and looking at how the Democrats are engaging in these information and document dumps, the way they're trying to muddy the waters and create confusion and false implications. Well, they're certainly trying to hoax it, I'll tell you that much. They're obviously not interested in releasing the files and getting to the bottom. They only want to release the little parts and make little edits to them and little implications, all the parts that are related to President Trump and nothing else. They're weaponizing their position in the Intelligence Committee and stooping to some of the most disgusting lows I've ever seen. At least, that's how it stands now. If we actually stumble upon some evidence that's truly incriminating, that's truly damning, then I'll change my stance. But as of right now, it's just the Democrats sullying themselves, continuously lying as per usual. Just really horrible behavior. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.